It's time to feel the rage. Welcome to Film Rage, where we talk movies in theater streaming and classic films as well. Directors and actors, beware as you cannot hide from the rage. My name is Bryce from Part of Film Rage Crew, which also includes Jim. Hey there, Jim.
Hey, Bryce.
And also we got the Merman. How's the Merman today?
Old, tired.
How's that Gatorade treating you? Is it tasty?
It's keeping me awake right now.
The Gatorade's keeping you awake?
Electrolytes.
Ah, those electrolytes.
I don't drink coffee.
Nice.
I'm drinking coffee.
I know you are.
I tell you. So with the introductions out of the way, let's rage on.
All right. Well, thanks for supporting us. If you love our independent podcast, please like, subscribe, share, and give us a rating on your listening platform. Or you can dare us to see a terrible movie, and if it played anywhere in the world, we'll watch it. Let's get to raging for the first time today.
Yes, it's all brand new.
What would the amazing Murman predict? What would the amazing Murman predict? Will he predict the rage or will he predict a mondo? Where is Bryce when I am singing today, everybody? Better watch out, kids, cause here he comes.
Ooh.
He's coming swimming to you.
And you and you.
Swim, Murray, swim, Murray.
Swim, Murray, swim.
Swim, Murray, swim, Murray.
Swim, Murray, swim.
Swim all the way to our hearts, our little rage-filled hearts.
All right, we had 5 movies this week.
5.
I saw 2 of them because I'm not made of money.
You aren't.
First up, we have one. I actually changed my rating because I think I know you guys. Was, of course, the Michael Jackson biopic, Michael. That's right. Yeah, I thought you might have liked it because, you know, Michael's music, but it's a biopic, so double rage. We have Mother Mary, which is an A24. Apparently by the guy who did The Green Knight, which I just loved so much.
You did love it so much.
I'm going to go double meh.
Green Knight was so good.
So
Not.
good. Even had a talking fox.
Even the yellow-bellied coward knight. That's what I call him. Except we have I Swear, which was had a thing with the BAFTAs about a guy with Tourette's syndrome. And, you know, you can't help being who you are. And, yeah, he said some stuff during a live award show they didn't like.
He woke him up, baby.
That's right. It was very unwoke. So, double mondo. Then we have Fuze, which is like some kind of action movie in London. There's a bomb. I don't know. Looked horrible. Double rage. Then we have Little Lorraine, which I thought was about lobster fishing. Apparently it's not. So
There is some
but
lobster
it's
in it.
It's Canadian, so let's go double mondo.
All right. Nice. You know I'm bad, Jamoetta. Your butt is mine. It's your butt is mine, right?
Yes, butt as wide as Weird Al Yankovic.
But so there's
Exact
the butt
same set.
Was it? Oh, because it was I'm fat,
Yes, I'm fat.
not I'm bad.
No.
Okay.
Best thing about Michael is he loved Weird Al and he gave him permission to use all of his songs.
Did Weird Al say Chamoet in his songs?
Probably.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember.
Well, you know all his songs. You sing
Yeah,
them all
but
the
he
time.
did eat it as well.
Did he say Chamoet? I'm fat Chamoet.
Sure. I'll go back and listen to it, but sure.
Nice. All right, so if you hear a film is a biopic or a documentary, and then you see that the person or their family is part of the production team, that usually is your cue to run as fast as you can away from a movie. With Michael, the Jacksons family fingerprints are all over this. There are 6 Jacksons listed among the 15 producers. So going in, you already know one thing about Michael Jackson is that he is one of the most controversial figures that have ever lived. And this film gives none of that. Maybe they're saving it for part 2, which honestly feels like it's coming based on the ending. Or maybe it's like becoming Led Zeppelin, where they just stop the story right when things are about to get interesting. Here it ends when Michael decides he no longer wants to be just a Jackson. He is his own person. Chumbawit. What this really feels like is the family, now that the father is gone, decides that this is the version of Michael they want us to remember. The music and his abusive relationship with his dad. So, if you want a movie about Michael dealing with an abusive father, Michael being the only real talent in the family, and Michael being the only one who stood up for himself, then you might actually like this, because that's basically what it is. A concert film stitched together with scenes of Michael not wanting to be a Jackson and pushing back against his dad. Outside of that, there's almost no character development, not the brothers, not the family, not Michael Jackson himself. But what do we get? We get Michael's very talented nephew doing a great job playing him. A bunch of performances of classic MJ songs, almost 2 hours, which makes it feel like almost like a live music video. And look, watching someone as talented as Michael Jackson's nephew perform these songs is always going to be entertaining. But if you're expecting a real story, anything touching on Leaving Neverland type content, the controversies, Neverland itself, the circumstances around his death, anything that might be outside of us basically wanting to be in love with Michael Jackson, you're getting none of that here. This film avoids everything uncomfortable and focuses solely on making you feel sympathy for Michael. It's him and his abusive dad, and that's the lens we get. We also get some random stuff, like a lot of CGI monkey, which who doesn't like CGI monkey? Moonwalking and singing, obviously. The idea that only Michael and his mom ever watched movies together, and that he had basically no one else in his life except his bodyguard and his animals. And somehow that's supposed to be enough. By the end, I had one real question: was Janet Jackson in a different family? Because if you're not listed as a producer, apparently you don't exist in this version. Bottom line, this movie doesn't show us anything we didn't already know, doesn't go deeper emotionally, doesn't explore anything controversial or anything outside of anything that we didn't already know. So, yeah, it gives us some songs, some nostalgia, and some very controlled narrative. Michael survived abuse, becomes the king of pop, end of story. Yeah, for that reason, I didn't like it. It was a rage. There were some great MJ songs, but yeah, this is not the story of Michael. Like it's promised. It's just my dad is abusive, and now I can go on a solo mission. That's how I felt.
Yeah, not really expected. I knew you wouldn't like it. The King of Pop, Michael Jackson, forgetting for a minute about all the weird stuff he did, you know, hanging his kid off the balcony, blah, 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 all the
Blanket?
weird. The last, 10 years of his life, which was just weird. And all the child abuse or whatever allegations. Just focusing on his music. There's no doubt what an impact he had on the music industry. In the 80s, there was Michael Jackson and Prince. I can't speak for these two, but I was on Team Michael.
I was on Team Prince.
Prince was good too, but I can only name a handful of his songs. Seriously, one hand, I know 5 songs. I know almost all of Michael's songs. Thriller was my first album, as in LP, as in record. The first music I heard that wasn't country, because I grew up in a country music household. So yeah, his music was a pretty big deal to me. I lived in a small town in Saskatchewan. We didn't have a lot of access to music. So let's get it out of the way. There is nothing in this biopic about the later years, the child abuse cases, or any other of the crazy stuff. There was also nothing about Janet Jackson in this film, because she asked to be left out of it, and they obliged her. She didn't support the movie. That's fine. They just didn't talk about her.
What about Rebby?
I don't know who Rebby is.
It's the older sister.
It's the oldest daughter.
There's 10 people in the Jackson family talking about the Jackson 5, the musical ones.
Yeah. Well, what about the other ones?
What about the ones that they ate at the dinner table? Like Janet
I
still would have
didn't
been
count
eating.
heads, but there's like the Jackson 5. There was the 5 brothers.
So but were we led to understand
maybe
that the other kids had to eat in a
I
different
don't know.
room?
Where's Randy? Maybe he was out of the house. I have no idea.
That's what happened, Murray.
I
Come
was
on.
born in 1971. I wasn't there.
That's exactly what happened. They had the room
Anyway,
for the performers,
yeah.
and then they had the Janet was a performer.
But yeah, this film was produced, as you said, by and with the consent of the entire Jackson family, including Michael's son, who was
Except
one of the
Janet.
producers, except for Janet
And his daughter.
and except for his daughter Paris, who I think is a flake anyway. The reason for the whitewash, so to speak, is that the court order about all the cases from Neverland and all that child abuse stuff or whatever forbid them from actually talking about it. Unfortunately, they had already shot a bunch of scenes talking about it, so the producers had to spend $15 million to reshoot to avoid any of that stuff. So yeah, it was a puff piece. I get it. What we have is the life of Michael Jackson from the late 60s when his father formed the Jackson 5 to his bad tour in 1988. For me, that was enough. Jafar Jackson, the son of Jermaine Jackson, was amazing. I don't care if he didn't sing any of the songs, although I guess he did some of it. His look, his demeanor, his dance moves, he was the embodiment of Michael. His performance really pulled me into the life of the King of Pop. Being a biopic, I'm sure it's not completely accurate, even though it was done with actual family members who were there. I don't care. Joe Jackson may have been a complete monster, but he did everything for his family. Coleman Domingo did a great job playing both the abusive father and the shrewd manager. The rest of the cast was decent too. Mike Myers, once again, popped up in a small cameo as a music executive. Totally straight. I don't think he's trying to be funny at all. Much like Bohemian Rhapsody. In this case, this guy was a bit nicer. I think he was the head of CBS, and he basically demanded that Michael's videos be played on MTV, which apparently they didn't play black artists back then, which seems stupid to me. But you got Michael, Lionel Richie, Prince, like all these great black artists from the 80s, and MTV wouldn't play any of them. That seems stupid.
I don't know.
That was weird because I
felt weird. Yeah,
I didn't remember,
I don't remember that. Well, we didn't
but
have
yeah.
MTV. We had
Much music, yeah.
video hits, but they played everybody. Anyway, it was probably one of the best biopics I've seen in a while. I loved it so much that I need to go out and buy the Thriller album again because
Nice.
I'm sure I lost mine along the way over the years. So yeah, it was a mondo. I know you guys don't agree.
it's okay. That's what we do.
Yeah, I didn't like this movie. I thought that I didn't even like the performances. I thought Coleman Domingo phoned it in. You guys seem to think he did a good job. I didn't see that at all. He just played a caricature, and it was a one-note performance that did very little for anything. What I will say is they had opportunities to do something special at times. The fact that we had here's a scene that sticks out in my mind more than anything, and I could go into the Bubbles is like the most developed character in the whole movie, which he is.
He definitely is.
I could go into a number of things that it's just kind of silly, and you look at it, and the fact that it plays out like a greatest hits package instead of an actual movie. But what I will say is they had an opportunity at one point to actually really, really have a powerful scene, and the scene is when he actually gets the gang members together to do Beat It.
Yeah, I don't even know what that was.
And this actually did happen. He had gang members, like those are gang members that are in that video, and they were rival gangs. They were the Bloods.
Yeah, it was the Bloods and the Crips from the 80s.
So, and the fact that they don't, number one, I can't believe Michael Jackson wore that red jacket, and that didn't become a problem. But because I'm sure half of those guys would have a problem. But here's the thing. They made that scene was so awkward and like out of place in that movie, where it should have been one where they showed like what went down, and apparently that there was some violence on that set where they stuff got out of hand sometimes. Like there was something finally interesting. And they didn't even touch it. Like why even put that scene in there unless you're gonna make it
Well,
something.
that's what even makes it more confusing.
Exactly, and that's my problem with this movie. They just stuck in these snippets, and they didn't even delve into anything. We got just the surface of everything, and we didn't dig deep into any single thing in this man's life.
It's funny what you say that, because my opinion when seeing that movie, okay, as I'm watching it, because my wife and I watched it together, and as I'm watching the movie, I'm like, they just brought together these dancers? So there were Bloods and Crips who knew how to dance? I don't think
I think he had his own professional dancers.
He had some dancers.
And the Bloods and the Crips just watched them.
But yeah, no, there were actual gang members in that video. That's a fact.
Okay,
yes,
so
I know that.
Well, that I did know, but I didn't know what that scene was that.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make any sense to me.
No, and that's the thing. They finally had something interesting, and they just they didn't even go there.
That's just what it like.
And that's the whole movie to me.
Yeah.
So you know what?
That's a thriller.
As
really,
I say,
was really good.
There's lots of like the music, of course, is going to be great. We can't deny that. But I will take nothing away from Jafar Jackson. Jafar Jackson was brilliant in this.
Yeah, he was.
The problem is he was not in a good movie. This is a total rage for me. I wanted to like it because who doesn't want to go
Michael
to
Jackson?
who doesn't want to go to this movie and like it? But it just wasn't a good movie. It was so like there was nothing. It was nothing. It was absolute empty calories. This movie.
You know what this movie should have been called? Miss Jackson If You're Nasty.
There you go.
Because she wasn't in it.
No.
I'm sure she'll have her own movie at some point.
I hope Janet Jackson has her own movie.
I don't.
I was also a
And
huge Janet Jackson fan.
Maybe she can cast her nephew in it as well.
Yeah, you know what?
She can. Her nephew can play her.
Because people used to confuse Michael and her.
Yeah, I think Jafar Jackson could totally play Janet Jackson.
He totally could.
Play both roles. There you go.
You know what? Let's make this happen, Janet. Are you listening?
I love that.
Sorry, Miss Jackson. If I'm nasty, I am kind of nasty.
All right,
so
let's move on.
She is Miss Jackson.
So yeah,
I am for real. Okay, so that was
a
Mondo Rage.
Yeah.
It was a Mondo sandwich.
Yeah,
with some delicious, tasty Rage bread.
So tasty.
So tasty.
All
right,
that Rage bread.
Speaking of tasty, Mother Mary. Oh my. So you could say this film is a power struggle between two people, a designer and a musician, both masters in their fields. But from the very beginning, the power clearly sits with Michaela Cole, who plays Sam, the designer and former friend of Anne Hathaway's Mother Mary. We know this instantly. Mary comes to her begging for a dress, saying Sam is the only one who understands her, the only one who can do this. Right away, the balance of power is set. Through this, we understand these two women have history, and that Mary is now sorry for what happened between them. We do eventually find out what and why, just not right away, so that it's kind of like that Hitchcock thing. It's planted it there. We know something's coming, but we don't know what. What follows is essentially two performers confronting their past, present, and future in a poetic and intense way. Both of them deliver every line of this modern, eloquence-heavy dialogue brilliantly. It feels almost staged, like theater, but in a good way. And we get the blood red ghost, a manifestation created by Sam and carried by Mary. For one, it's cathartic. For the other, it's invasive. Maybe it comes from hate, from being shut out, or maybe it's just a release, forcing both of them to confront their roles in the collapse of their relationship. The ghost becomes the metaphor of friendship, healing, forgiveness, acceptance. The film itself leans fully into that. Poetic, stylized, almost stage-like, with music crafted by Charlie XCX that actually works really well and helps carry the emotional weight of this story. All of it builds to a kind of seance-like climax, where they attempt to cast out the ghost in a bloody, symbolic moment. It ends with a sort of blood oath between them, a renewal, a healing on every level. And honestly, David Lowery is just on another level of creativity here. He's so unique with his craft that there's nobody that can make a film or can even come close to the feelings of a David Lowery film. At times it feels like watching a modern day version of Shakespeare, just filtered through fashion, music, dance, and emotional trauma. I love the relationship renewal film that we get here. I think that Anne Hathaway, yes, Anne Hathaway was not a favorite actor of mine for many years when she was doing fluff
she
pieces.
Did a lot of Princess Diaries.
Yes,
and stuff like that,
and
which
all of the movies were
not my
garbage.
favorite movies of hers either, but
yeah, but she is choosing her last 5 movies that she's been in have had her brilliance shine. I'm not taking back what I've said about her in the past because I thought she couldn't act up until the last 5 movies that she's been in. But now for her to stand toe to toe with one of our favorite actors, Michaela Cole, and come out swinging, this is a battle of two titans that was so eloquently written. I loved it. It was Mondo.
I forgot this was by the guy who did The Green Knight. I should have known better. I should have just stayed away because I hated that movie so much. But it had Anna Hathaway and she was singing. I'm like, I love to listen to her sing. So what the hell? What the hell was this movie? I honestly don't know.
I just told you.
No, it wasn't what the trailer thought it was. Like in the trailer, they showed them in a circle. I thought, okay, there's like gonna be some like witchcraft and stuff happening.
There was witchcraft.
Yeah, like the 98-minute mark. Like, yeah, presumably it's about an aging pop star returning to her former dress designer for one last outfit. The first hour of this was blah, 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 blah about dressmaking and whatever Mary did to piss off her dressmaker, Sam. Some online say they were actually lovers. I don't know if that's true or not.
They could have. Yeah, it did have hints of that.
Honestly, the symbolism and the hidden meanings were lost on me. I was mostly bored for that first hour. I'm sure Michaela Cole is good. I've never seen her in anything. I didn't see that art movie you went to. All she did was put me to sleep with her blah, blah, blah. Like, seriously, her voice put me to sleep. The accent and how low it was, I was drifting. I actually got up halfway through to go to the bathroom. I didn't even have to go. I just had to wake up.
Stretch your legs.
When I got back, there was like somebody flipped a switch on the movie, and it became this voodoo Ouija board thing with Mary having some kind of spirit living inside her. The rest of the film made no sense to me. I couldn't wait for it to be over. The only thing that saved this for me was Anne Hathaway, who I freaking love. Only thing I like better than watching her act is hearing her sing. Even that wasn't enough. Very, very mediocre meh. I just hope her next 4 movies that come out this year will be better for me.
As do I, except for I can guarantee one of them will not.
Oh, you don't know.
It's true.
Meryl Streep and Emily Blunt.
Yeah, Meryl Streep is horrible, by the way.
Not.
Quicker she retires, the better we'll all be.
And Stanley Tucci.
Yeah, I don't like him.
The Tuchinator.
Anyway, go.
Go.
I'm ceding the floor to you.
Mother Mary.
Quite contrary.
Yeah, no, David Lowery's brilliant. This movie's brilliant. Anne Hathaway is okay.
She's fantastic.
Michaela Cole is brilliant. Yeah, Anne Hathaway, the fact that she can actually stand in front of Michaela Cole and not look completely out of place is impressive in itself, because, as I say, Michaela Cole is at the point now in her career where she can take on anybody. As I say,
she just about took out
Sir Ian McKellen in the Christophers. I mean, when you can stand toe to toe with that guy, and I would say that he was maybe at his best in that movie, and he was reeling. For
None
the
shall
blows.
pass.
Yeah, she.
He's like fine wine. He gets better with age.
Yeah.
he kind of does. But yeah, no, she's just a force. The just the expressions on her face, where she can go from like just a smile to just absolute dread. Like that, her face just is so expressive, and the way that she delivers lines is just. I mean, that accent. There's just something about it that if it's put in the right context and in the right movie, it's just her voice is mesmerizing in itself. You combine that fact with the fact that she's striking, and the fact that she also has such expression in her face when she's just a complete actor.
Sorry, just to jump in for a quick point on that, because this movie kind of has some hints of overtones of horror.
It does,
but it's really the ghost aspect of it that why I kind of compare it to Shakespeare and how he wove ghosts and witchcraft into his.
I can totally see that.
To see her, I think, in a real horror movie, like we've seen Lupita Nyong'o in it, and she's also brilliant in it.
Yeah.
I would love to see her come across the pond and do some films in USA or Yankee Land or Hollyweird, whatever you want to call it, because putting her in a horror movie, there's nobody that could touch her.
Yeah, well, I just want to see her in anything. I don't really care if it's a horror movie or not. Just give me more Michaela Cole. This movie has like the music in it, the just absolutely striking scenes. Like just David Lowery is a true filmmaker. He's a true original voice. It is just a pleasure to watch this guy's movies. There's nobody's making movies like this guy. Nobody, and they are something to see. I absolutely adored this movie, start to finish. There's really not a misstep. It's Mondo. I love this movie.
And it's funny, we have a friend of Film Rage, the Vern, with Cinema Recall podcast that refuses to see this movie because there is a band called Mother Mary that does a similar style of music to the music that's in this, I guess Charlie XCX does, which I don't know what this style is. Do you know what this is? The style is? Murray, do you know what it is?
Oh, it's pop, definitely.
Oh, it's like droning synth pop or something. I don't know.
And used like, Gaga, Beyonce, all those references
for it. So
mesh this together in one character. So.
Yeah. So I mean, anyway, he refused to see this because he was mad that they didn't use Mother Mary's music.
Oh, that's
in
dumb.
This. Well, it is dumb because the music is really not the movie, and
no, there are very few actual performances. It's mostly the two of them talking.
Having her music. Having Mother Mary's music in this would not fit with this. This had to be original content to fit David Lowery's story. So anybody that may have that same opinion of our good friend Vern, please go see this movie because it should hold nothing against the original band Mother Mary because they're completely unrelated.
Okay.
That's what I would say.
Yeah, I don't even know what you're talking about. But cool.
All right, moving on.
I don't know who Mother Mary is.
That surprises me. You know everybody in the world.
I know.
Yeah.
Wow, that's not true.
He doesn't know pop artists.
That's true.
Much.
Well, I know pop artists all the way up into, and then once you get
Until
into the 2000s,
90s?
I kind of 90s I'm good, 80s I'm good, but when you get into the 2000s, that's when I started to get into heavier
Rita
stuff.
Carpenter.
We saw a movie at Cuff and they brought it up and it both made Bryce and I both laughed at the same time, which was they asked him, okay, what are your influences? And they said Big Shiny Tunes 5.
90s?
Oh no, it wasn't. It was actually Mile End Kicks. It wasn't at Cuff.
Yeah,
it was Mile End Kicks.
Mile End Kicks.
What is your major influences?
Big Shiny Tunes 5, which was hilarious.
Yeah, it totally.
Now is music. I know those.
Yeah, exactly. Big Shiny Tunes.
Heard the name.
There you
There
go.
you
I don't think I know what's on it.
It's basically a greatest hits of whatever year that it came out.
No, I get it.
So
same with now. They made one every year.
Big Shiny Tunes 1 to whatever.
Yeah.
All right, I swear, for fuck's sakes.
Don't swear.
A young 14-year-old boy
There's no need for that type of language.
who's a bit gifted in pretty much everything he does, living in Scotland, learns suddenly that he has developed Tourette's
Does he
syndrome.
live in a Scottish cottage?
Scottish cottage. He kind of did live in a Scottish cottage. But he gets Tourette's syndrome all of a sudden. And I didn't know that's what happened with Tourette's, but I guess it kind of makes sense. It's like schizophrenia, right? Like,
Yep.
takes over when you get into adolescence. And what follows is a heartwarming and motivational biopic that is filled with humor and some tears for what this poor man has to go through. The big issue with this film is that it's very cookie cutter, moment by moment, scene to scene, almost as if it was written in powerful moments that were a bit predictable, one after the other, like a tick box they had to cover. But it really doesn't show the truth behind what people with Tourette's would actually have to go to. This person had a support system, and I think having a support system is important for anybody with a disability. But in particular, Tourette's is one of those ones that majority of people with Tourette's don't get the benefit of having jobs, don't get the benefit of, being in supported relationships. A lot of them end up on the streets because they can't get jobs. They can't work. They can't, because no one's going to hire somebody at McDonald's to, when you come in to make an order and say, bitch, cunt, fuck, jizz bucket, to you as you're ordering a Big Mac. So, this is the pieces that were missing for me. But as the story rolls on, it gets you so connected to John Davidson and his challenging life that ends with some amazing things he does for his community and helps us ignorant people to understand all that is Tourette's. And we get to learn how important it is for us to take the time to understand that people with Tourette's are just like us. They just happen to swear all the time and they can't help it. I can say I never knew what I needed in my life was to see a Tourette's off in a film. But now that I have seen one, I can die a happy man. I really, really, really liked this. I laughed, I cried a bit, and I felt like I might have a chance of being a better person the next time I see someone with this condition.
I don't know if I've seen too many people with it.
Every person that I've ever seen with Tourette's is homeless. Like I haven't met somebody at my work environment that had it, or so my vision or my filter for me was that if you have Tourette's, it's going to be a tough life for you. And yes, I think this movie gives it, but it doesn't really give us the rawness. It was a high meh for me because it is a real feel-good movie, and I could see me and my grandma sitting on Sunday afternoon watching this movie.
Especially if she's a potty mouth.
Especially, my grandmother has a fucking potty mouth just like her grandson.
That's where you learned it
Just
from.
swear like sailors.
I learned how to swear in French because I had a French grandmother.
Ah, mais oui.
Yeah. She wasn't talking to me. She was on the phone with her friends. But yeah, she would just let it fly.
I love your grandmother.
She was a tough lady. I loved her.
All right. What'd you think there, fuckface?
That's unnecessary.
Spunk for milk.
Spunk for milk.
But appropriate.
Yeah, I swear. It's an important movie. It sheds a light on Tourette's. I think a lot of people that end up seeing it probably don't know much about it, and you come out of this and you learn a few things. There's no question. I wish that, like in my mind, I wish it would have went to the darker places and really shown the struggle. I mean, yes, it touched upon things, and there was some, he obviously had a rough life, but I think it was actually probably more rough than they're even kind of showing, and I think that would have been more effective for me. However, perhaps they kind of knew the movie that they were making, and maybe they just wanted to reach a wider audience, so they kind of glossed over stuff a little bit, kind of gave you that Hallmark version of the movie. With a fair bit of swearing, but nevertheless, So I'm kind of wrestling with that. The fact that it wasn't the movie kind of made for me. It was more made for the masses. And there's nothing wrong with making a movie for the masses, especially when the message is as important as the message is in this movie. There are some scenes in this movie that are very, very powerful. There's some laugh out loud moments. Watching him when he gets that sort of therapeutic wristband thing.
Yeah.
Watching him walk through that library
For the first
time
since he was 14.
That was a really moving scene, and there are a number of moving scenes in this movie.
Especially Dottie.
Yeah, Dottie's fantastic. And the Tommy character, he's fantastic. Like it's just such a well cast movie as well. Everybody in it's very, very good. It just wasn't amazing, but it's a very important movie, and I think a lot of people will enjoy it. And I think it's as I say, it's an important movie for people to see. It's not a Mondo for me because but at the same time, it's very, very good, and it's a high meh. But
I think that
it's
nobody
a meh
would see
nevertheless.
this movie and not say, I enjoyed myself.
Yeah, you're going to enjoy yourself. And at the end, I would hope that most people will come out of this and maybe, it's not going to change your life, but you might be a slightly better person when you come out of it.
I would hope so. I would think that
at the very least, you should have more understanding about, and understanding goes across. Like it's not just Tourette's. Once you become an understanding human being, you start to become an understanding human being about
with a lot of things. Yeah.
It's kind of contagious when you start understanding one thing, you start understanding other things. But I'll leave that. But yeah, no, this is a high meh. It's really worth watching. But it wasn't made for me. I would have liked to see some darker stuff.
Made for your grandma. For your grandma. Yeah, it's funny you say that I think that's why, like we talked about this, we talk about it a lot, but everybody has their own motivations why they go see movies.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, and I think for you too, Bryce, that we go to see movies because we want to be changed by the film to become more understanding people.
Yeah.
Either from the culture that we're experiencing from the film that's delivered, or by the situations that happen.
We want to go into a movie not just to be entertained, but I want to go into a movie and I want to be challenged a little bit when I go into that movie.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to question things. I want to be able to think while I'm watching, and I don't want. If I want just pure enjoyment, I'll go play a video game. But if I'm going to a movie, I wanna experience this movie, and and if I grow as a person, wow, that movie just did something better. Yeah.
And but there is genres like you hardly ever are you going to an action film to. Like you're going there to check your mind at the door.
And that's the thing. And sometimes I have a tough time checking my mind at the door. But if it's a really good action film, I will. But boy, it's got to stand out. And I'll fully admit, there's certain genres where it's going to take a lot to win me over. Yeah. But when it does, that was a really good movie.
And there is a lot of people, like I think, Murray, you go see a movie because you want to be entertained. Are we not entertained?
I don't want to
grow as
be
a person.
reminded of how bad life is. I want to see how good life is.
Oh.
Yeah,
because my life sucks.
You like happy endings. Yeah, it's interesting. The more content we get. So speaking of movies that you could check your mind at the door, we're now going to talk about probably one of my least favorite genres.
Heist movies?
Heist movies.
They're all right.
With a bomb.
Yeah, with a bomb.
I'm not a big heist movie guy, but
I think you have a bigger appreciation.
Oh, undoubtedly. I'll go into a heist movie with a more open mind than you will. No,
I go into it with the exact same mindset.
But you're going to hate it.
No, because sometimes there's a heist movie that I like. If it's done well.
Yeah.
And this is not one of them.
No, this was done fine.
No, this had the potential to be something, and something, it could have been worth seeing if it was done well. But this was not. we had an entire cast of characters that were unlikable, except one.
Yeah.
The corporal dude, the guy who was the super sleuth.
Yeah.
That
He's a smart guy.
Yep. That
He's like,
figured
wait a
out
minute.
stuff out.
What's with
This
this
doesn't
little?
seem
Well,
right.
this doesn't seem right. What's with that little thing that's on there that doesn't belong?
That does one of these things does not belong.
This does not seem right at all.
Exactly.
It's like everybody else is just, you know what? Just ignore it.
Just ignore it.
Although
Ignore that man behind the
That's
curtain.
one of the twists, though. We find out why he's brushing it off.
Yeah, this was not a twist.
He was
to
pretty
me.
much forced
It
into
was-
finally.
It was obvious foreshadowing from the get-go, and then they try and make us feel
foreshadowing is
like
what it's
it
for. So you
might
can see
be
the future.
based on a true story, but it was
No.
supposedly only inspired by a bomb that was in London. It's about these guys who do a bank heist at the same time that a World War II bomb is found in the area, thus making a perfect shield for what they were actually doing, breaking
brilliant.
into a bank to steal diamonds. And no, it was not. There is a lot of little details that I think are supposed to impress us with
Yes.
the exactness of what happens, but these are also things that cause its downfall, because on top of there being some minor holes in the details they provide, there's quite a few things that as I'm watching this, I'm like, oh, that doesn't make sense. And if you're putting it so that it's so much detail that why don't you make the details accurate and follow correct protocols and procedures? But no, they want us to think that there's so many details that all these details are so intelligently written, but they're not.
But they are.
They're not, because there's this one thing.
Because there's one person that's trying not to do the details because he doesn't want.
Okay, so I won't bring up the
he's
fact
hiding
that
stuff.
they have SWAT teams that go into the sewers that
You just said
know
you were
these
gonna
guys
bring it up.
go down.
You're bringing it up.
Went down a tunnel and they're like,
But then there's-
well, we only want to go down 2 steps in the tunnel.
Yeah,
let's go the other way.
They looked. They
there's-
looked. They're like nothing to see here, and they turned around. It's fine.
They clearly see in their. They go to night vision for like or not night vision, whatever it's called. Heat-seeking imagery for like 5 seconds.
Infrared.
Oh, there's something. Maybe we should turn on the heat.
Infrared,
How about you
yeah.
turn the infrared on for the whole fucking part of the movie? No, we're gonna turn it on, and then guess what? We're gonna turn it off.
Yeah.
Like there's just one thing after another that they throw
But
into
then,
something
the heat
intelligent,
signature
and then
that
they
was
counter
there
it
was
with
gone.
something.
So they're like, yeah, we don't need it anymore.
Yeah. Okay. You're just proving my point. That
You're
they just
You're
do
paying
one thing.
attention to the wrong things, Jim.
Yeah.
Just go for the ride.
I can't go for the ride, Bryce. How you can go for the ride in a movie like this, but you can't other things? Just I'm like blah.
Because this had a killer soundtrack.
Okay, that's what that. There you go. Don't even get the fucking soundtrack started, which is it was like listening to John Carpenter, but not John Carpenter written. It's like someone was trying to pretend they were John Carpenter,
I know,
and then
they did a
had
good
like
job.
2 notes that just kept playing over and over.
I know,
it was
but
so
it was
grating.
subtle and it was just underneath the surface, and it just created. It just made, and those tense moments just bubbled to the top
was
every
supreme
time. Oh, it
torture.
was so good.
Yeah. So this happens in an already obvious triple cross film. And then
There's so many crossings.
you think, Murray, thank God it's finally over.
Yes,
But no, Murray, it's not over. We already knew the whole story, but then they needed to add in a flashback.
Well, they want to show
10 years earlier.
They need to show you how these guys got together.
We already knew how they got together because they told us they got together. But then they had to show us that this one of the stupidest flashbacks in any movie that's ever existed.
Not the best flashback.
Just to layer the rage cream-soaked filling
could have done without the flashback.
on top of the worst rage cake.
I will tell you that you're right that was unnecessary.
I was already in a rage state, and then when they put that in there, I was like,
it got even dumber after that though, because they put it like Animal House style at the end, where they're like, so and
tell what
so
happened with
went
their
to
lives.
university and
let's-
became a congressman, but in this case, and then they were trying to be funny too in those, and it's like, what
Was it?
Well, yeah, no, because
I had already lost my patience
because
with this movie.
he's like he spent all his money on hookers and blow. Just kidding. Did you not see that?
Yeah, I was already checked out, but yes, I did see it because it was also
it wasn't
fueling
funny. It was stupid.
fueling my rage.
That alone should make anybody rage.
I'm already there. I was there before we got to that.
But you just had to just cut it off before the flashback.
What they should have done is made a good movie, which they didn't. And the other thing they should have done is ended it probably 20 minutes earlier.
That I'll agree with.
It was probably one of the best heist movies that's ever been made, though. So I think people should see it if you like stupid heist movies that you don't follow any of the logic, because the logic isn't really there.
No, there's
it's kind of there, but then they throw a bunch of things that don't make sense.
You're being too critical.
You know what? Let's have it so that all these things are important, but then let's pretend that that all the logic that would be truly in reality isn't placed into the movie.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you liked it?
It was a rage.
Yeah.
Like, it was really horrible, and I hated it.
Well, Fuze, killer soundtrack. Actors were good. I like that Theo James. What do you call him, Murray?
He's a British Franco.
He's a British Franco. There
Looks
you go.
like a Franco, but he's from England.
He does look like a Franco. I'll give you that.
He's a Franco.
Yeah, this was just a good little heist movie. It's just, you're not going to go in there and think too much. You just go in there. You enjoy the ride. I thought that the tension built pretty well. And not in small part to that killer soundtrack through the whole thing. And it just bubbled underneath.
Want to know what's a good soundtrack?
And it came up.
Dune.
And then,
now Dune is a good soundtrack.
No, Dune's awful. Dune's just like 3 hours of...
That's how I felt watching this movie.
Oh, whatever. Anyways, it was just a enjoyable little romp. You got a Sam Worthington sighting, which is not necessarily great, but it is what it is. I don't know. I didn't hate this movie. I didn't love it, but it rolled along. As far as heist movies go, I thought that the twists and the turns were actually fairly cleverly done. Yet they heavy-handedly foreshadowed some stuff, but that's fine. That's what foreshadowing's for. You instead of like dropping breadcrumbs, they were dropping loaves of bread, but that's okay because the payoff was still good. And the fact that the way that they tied all these guys together, I thought was kind of clever. And I like the fact, and I didn't initially. I'll admit, I'm a bit of a mark, I guess, because I did not get why they were showing this family that seemed to have nothing to do with anything. And even when they were like, you know what? It's their apartment that all this stuff was going down. And I was like, huh?
Yeah, but there's a point in the movie you see the guy go up to the roof and put the real diamonds there.
Yeah, but that was after that, Jim.
No, it was a long time before in the movie. I'm not sure if you maybe fell asleep because the music was droning. But they show him switch the bag out near the beginning of the heist.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
You're saying that
yes.
The dude.
Yes, he went to the ceiling when he said to the other guy.
That was after.
No, it wasn't. They had the drones and they were going to put the shit in the drones.
That wasn't him.
That was the other guy. He switched it out.
That wasn't the guy that was the family guy.
No, it wasn't the family guy.
That's what I'm talking about.
But that's what you knew. He was coming. The guy who lives there is coming back. They already showed that he lives there. He's going to come back into the place. Everything was so obvious. Why are they going to leave it on top of the ceiling?
The keys.
No. It was obvious. Everything was obvious.
I don't know why we're arguing about this.
Because it was so horrible.
The movie was fine. It rolls along. It's a heist movie. If you like heist movies, see it. It's good.
If you don't,
it is what it is. I didn't hate it. It rolled along. It was a pretty tight, just over 90 minutes. Didn't drone. It's the type of movie that could have droned on for a couple hours, and it didn't. Thank goodness. They could have cut 7 minutes out of it and had a nice tight 90-minute heist movie, which would have been fantastic because we really didn't need the last little while. I hated the frickin' little thing at the end with telling us what happened and this guy went to college and got a girlfriend and had a family of 6 and got a dog. It was all so stupid. So I didn't need that, but I still enjoyed the first 90 minutes. It rolled along. It was meh.
Nice.
You raged about it. You didn't agree?
Yeah, I agree that he liked it.
Yeah? I'll move on.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think you might like this one.
Yeah.
Here we go.
You like his heist movies. I think of all of us, Murray likes heist movies the most.
I do.
There you go.
He's heisty.
I like the ones you guys hate.
He's heisty.
I'm very heisty.
So heisty.
All right, Little Lorraine, which I think is the name of the town. Okay, thank you, Murray. Thank God you're here to keep us straight.
Apparently it's a town of like 50 people.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But of all the 50 people, they still have
Which is
things
not really
like,
a town. It's like a village.
grocery stores and bars that are full of people. And yeah. All right, so 1986 was a good year for music, including Michael Jackson. We got music.
The news.
We got music by The Spoons and Strange Advance and Gowan and band that isn't Canadian. So it was like they put all this Canadian music and then they put
any
China
Bryan Adams?
Crisis in there.
I'm pretty
There wasn't
sure
any Bryan
China
Adams.
Crisis. I
Well,
think,
what's
is
the
Canadian.
point then?
Exactly right, Murray.
No Bryan Adams, no Corey Hart. What's the point?
Yeah, they didn't play Corey Hart, but they played the worst of all of the Gowan
Corey
songs.
Hart wasn't good.
Oh,
He wears his sunglasses in there.
that's right.
Yeah. So he can watch you weave and breathe your storylines.
That's right. So
Another nonsensical stuff.
this is based on a true story about a few miners who lose their jobs as miners after a terrible fire kills 13 people. So I guess there was 50 people, then 13 minus 13 is whatever the
now
math
they're
is.
37 now.
Yeah. In Cape Breton, underwater coal mine. And then they start working a lobster fishing boat disguised for a cocaine boat. Headed up by the mesmerizing Stephen McCaddy. Chased by Interpol and Finland possibly found dead?
I don't know.
Where these incidents become a blemish on the people of Nova Scotia, still to this day, I'm guessing, and their honest, God-fearing living, which they were all pretty God-fearing, honest people, except Stephen
Were
McCaddy,
they?
who's
I don't-
from Montreal. Obviously, Montreal was a bad influence on
I
him.
don't think they're very honest.
We get scene after scene after scene after scene after scene after scene after scene of nonsense dialogue, storylines, and consistent things that don't make sense. Inspections by Interpol where they search 2 boxes because they stopped their boat on the ocean.
Yeah, but then they got called away. It's like, oh, we got something else going on over here. They're
We
like,
should
okay.
probably- we should
It's like,
probably not search-
rather than look at the box underneath, we better just get off the boat and leave.
Yeah,
even though
100%.
checking that box would take about 3 seconds. So, but they didn't have time for that.
Or open this boat is a small boat. Just open the thing that looks into the
bowels.
where the bowels where the lobsters sit. And they just had to look in there. It was full of drugs.
Yeah.
But they didn't do that.
No,
Or
but
fishermen,
they got called away.
fishermen who can't swim, Murray. So if you couldn't swim.
Well, they brought that up.
If you couldn't swim.
I had no
Stay
problem
away
with
from
that.
the ocean.
No. Okay, so here's the thing. Any fisherman that's worth their salt, see, because they're on the ocean.
But he wasn't a fisherman. That's the point. He was a miner.
Okay, I gotcha. Yep.
That's it.
So
There's a miner on a
I know if I couldn't swim and I was on a boat,
Well, if you
and
need the money.
I lived in.
Oh, you'd
Finland,
wear a life jacket.
Life jacket.
I might wear a life jacket.
That's probably a good
I would wear
idea.
2.
Yeah. So none of that happened either.
Right.
Drug dealers that are kind of like a friendship circle of niceties until the end when they're not. This is by far the worst East Coast film that I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot lately that have been pretty good.
Yeah, there's been a lot of good ones.
This movie was a rage. This is the worst rage I have for a Canadian film since seeing Zombie Town in 2023.
There you go.
Except, at least in Zombie Town, I got a few kids in the hall sightings. This movie is really, really bad. Like, it's just scene after scene of nonsense. And just every scene makes you more angry than the scene before it.
It's a movie where you're watching it and you're like, well, that would never happen. And then you get to the next scene. It's like, okay, well, that would never happen. And then you get to the next scene and you're like, well, that would never happen. And you get to the, like, I don't know, hour and 10 minute point, and you start becoming numb to it. It's just like, it's all just such nonsense. It's like in a million years, nobody would act like the way that these people are acting, and they wouldn't do the things that they're doing. Like, they literally make zero sense. And that's the problem with this whole story is none of it makes any sense all the way up to the end where you get this ridiculous payoff where I don't even know what's going on at this point. Like, I think I checked out after about 45 minutes because everything was just so stupid. Like, this is the dumbest movie, like, maybe that's ever been made. Like, nothing, there's nothing there. And I don't understand how anybody can watch this and see anything but that. It is a dreadful, dreadful movie. It's poorly acted. The writing is atrocious. The only thing it's got going for it is it's got some nice scenery because it's on the East Coast.
Yeah,
but
it's in Cape Breton. It's beautifully shot.
But other than that, this is a disaster of a movie. I just absolutely hated it. There was no tension. There was no... Because you know why there was no tension? Because nothing made sense. Like, nothing made sense. How can you have any tension when you're confused? Confusion and tension don't go together. So, yeah, this was a total rage.
Is that the first time you got to hit buttons today?
I don't know, maybe.
I think it was.
Well, I'm glad I missed it then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
I thought about going to it.
And don't even get me started on the MLs. They need to go away.
There was only one ML.
I know. Well, it doesn't matter if it's... I don't even know the difference. I don't know if I was watching
either.
Stevie or Robbie or...
One was Arrow. I don't know who the other one was.
I don't... All I know is if it's got an ML in it, it's probably awful.
But it had Sean Astin, didn't it?
Yeah, and all I know is if it's got Sean Astin in it, it's probably awful.
He's a president.
But it had Rhys Darby in it. What a waste there.
Rhys Darby.
Rhys
Darby, Stephen McHattie, and even they couldn't even make anything make
aren't
sense.
those guys on the list somewhere?
Rhys Darby used to be. He got taken off.
Right.
And Stephen McHattie's still there, although he wouldn't have made it there if we had seen this movie beforehand. Maybe. Actually, I didn't hate him in this movie.
I did.
I just felt sorry for him.
I thought he was awful.
I felt sorry for him.
I also felt sorry for him, but he was awful. Everybody was awful. This movie's awful.
Are we done?
Yeah, we're done.
What? For some reason, this is taking forever today. I don't know why.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. We're punch drunk.
It's one of those days.
I should have been more prepared to list how many movies we saw at Cuff.
There was a lot.
There was a lot.
I skipped the last 3 days.
We really immerse ourselves in film festivals when we go to them, and at least we took a break off during the middle of the week. I'd already seen those movies before, so
I took a break at the end,
and then we took the last day off, which. Congratulations to Cuff, though.
Yeah, surprising. The last day, everything was sold out. I thought about going and check something out, but it's like, no, every show was sold out.
When we were at the festival, it felt busy. Every movie felt busy. Yeah. And I turned to Bryce, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 days left in the festival. And check out CalgaryUndergroundFilm.org for the films they played, by the way. And I said to him, I think we've got a 30% increase above last year. And Bryce was like, no, it's maybe 10%. So the final numbers came in. They were 25% more tickets sold over last year. So I was closer, but it's
they had a few sellouts.
I'm so happy that people are coming back to cinema. And to be honest, even the movies we saw outside of Cuff, there's more people going to the cinemas now, I think.
Oh, my theater is like every weekend it's busy. I think part of that was because of Mario, but I went 2 Sundays in a row and there was nowhere to park.
Yeah.
And it's next to like a mall. I had to park like half a mile away.
I love it. This gives me hope that the theaters aren't going to close.
Maybe.
So I'm super happy about it. Yeah. So, we just decided we would talk about our favorite films. We're only going to do 3. So my favorite film of the festival, I'm not going to go backwards like Bryce does. My favorite film of the festival was Hokum, which is good for people listening here. So if
it's coming out.
It's coming out soon. So it'll give you a chance to see this film. It is a big ticket film. It's got Adam Scott. It's going to have some money behind it, so it's going to have a pretty good release. You all get to see this in cinemas, so look forward to it because it's fantastic. My next favorite one is Thanks for Nothing, which is the German film about the 4 young ladies who
group home,
in the group
whatever it's
home,
called.
and I don't know if that's going to get a major release, but
Probably not.
I was so emotionally connected to these so well crafted characters that I just love this film, and because actually suicide has touched my life personally, that the scene with the suicide in it was very touching for me, and it really helped move the level even further for me on this film. My third favorite is a tie between two movies, which came from the second half of the festival. One is Luger, which is an Argentinian film. And to be honest, like I just knew it was in Spanish, but I didn't know it was Argentinian. And to be honest, Argentinian action movies if it's an Argentinian film and it's an action film, just go see it. That's all I want to say. Just go see a movie. And I hope that this gets major release. This is like a gangster movie for the ages. The characters are so likable. So likable. I freaking absolutely loved Luger. I'm so glad we got to see it. And then tied with that, or I guess a runner-up, however you want to say it, was called Mag Mag. It's a comedy J-horror that there is a scene in this like nothing I've ever seen. The scene alone is worth seeing this movie for. I'm just going to say that they're artists and get sort of, the typical J-horror witch, right? Like the witch ghost that comes back. I mean, The Ring, the Grudge, they're all that. They have this haunt. So they have this and they know this is a staple of J-horror. But the comedy behind it is so well done. And there is a scene in this movie that has her have this giant, she's madly in love with this other artist, and there's a giant wall of his face. And in the middle, he has these pursed lips. And she basically mouth fucks him for about 5 minutes. And it's one of the funniest scenes. I must have laughed for 10 minutes straight. It is so good. This movie is so good.
I slept through it.
I know. So it's one that you will have to eventually
I would have too
see.
because it's not in English.
Yeah.
No, I was just really tired.
I was highly suggest
Plus, they
you
went
see
halfway through the short before it, and then they had to
Technical issue.
technical issue, and they had to restart it. So I'm like, well, I'm just going to close my eyes for the first part of the short because I've already seen it. But then I never opened my eyes.
And the short
again.
was great too. I forget what it was called. But
Yeah, the short was really good from what I saw because I saw it the first time around, but then I didn't see the ending because
Yes.
I'd fallen asleep.
And I did tell you how it ends, and it was
Yeah.
really quite fun.
And then we got to the feature, and I kind of maybe had my eyes open for a total of 7 minutes through that whole movie.
Dude, you got to see it.
Yeah.
All right, Mur, what was your favorites of the
My list
festival?
hasn't really changed since last time. I saw 2 movies since our last podcast. One was what's his name? Jason Segal one, which I can't give a mondo because it's a remake of a Norwegian film that I loved. It was okay. It was an American version. But anyway. And Concrete, I hated. But yeah, so my top 3 is Friday the 69th, which is a nice, awesome, low-budget
Super
slasher
funny.
movie making fun of them. Then there was, like you said, Thanks for Nothing, which, despite the fact that it was in German and I had to read subtitles, I still loved.
Nice.
And I'll also put The Fox up there, which I also
Nice. I did too.
loved. It was really funny.
Meh.
A talking fox, talking magpie.
Yep.
And Sam Neill in it. Honorable mention, or a tie, whatever you want to do it, is one I previewed and didn't give it that high of a rating, but
The
I
first
saw
time?
it with a live audience, and that made all the difference. It was, oh my god, why did I forget the name of it? The pickleball one.
Oh, Kings of Venice.
Kings
Kings of Venice, yes. It was paddle, which is like a smaller
Paddleball,
version of
yeah.
tennis, paddleball, which they play here, versus pickleballers who are trying to take over their courts. And they had one of the actual athletes there, the guys in the movie. He was easily the most entertaining guy in the movie because he's Italian and he had a really bad temper, like to smash rackets and stuff. And he was here, and the director was. And when the final tournament happened, the crowd was like, they were up, they were cheering, they were having an awesome time. Even the Q&A was fun. So because of that, Kings of Venice, I think I want to put on my list. 'Cause,
All right,
yeah,
well, good.
I mean, I don't know if it'll ever come out, but it's a great documentary. even if you don't like sports, because some of the characters in there are so entertaining. Just the fact that they got the #1 pickleball player in the world in their paddle tournament, and he almost won the whole thing. It's like that was a stroke of genius. But yeah, I loved it. But yeah, the second half of the festival, not so much. And I took the last 3 days off.
Because you were at the
Well, that was one day, but then we got more freaking snow and minus temperatures. So I was like, why am I going outside? So I didn't.
and then you couldn't get in the last Sunday. Yeah.
The last day was sold out.
Nice.
So that's all I got.
All right, Bracey Pants.
Hokum, Luger, every heavy thing.
Every heavy thing. Oh, that was
What's his name?
Mickey Reese, baby.
Mickey.
and just for everyone's
your pal
notice,
Mickey.
the short that played in front of Mag is called Floor.
There you go.
So if you get a chance to see that short, Floor,
Yeah, some of these will come out and some won't. The closing night film, which we didn't see, with Keke Palmer and I can't remember, there's some other big name in it, is coming out like this week or next.
Demi Moore.
No, the black guy. I can't remember who the black guy is.
Oh,
He's somebody big. I can't remember who he is. Anyway, it's like they like steal stuff like from
I love boosters.
stores. Boosters, yes, that is coming out.
Yeah,
if
it's
someone
coming
wants
out
to see
pretty
it.
soon.
So there you go.
Which we will be seeing because it's got Keke Palmer in
There
it.
you go.
Mhm.
No, plus we
Not
see
a
everything.
big fan of hers.
I am a huge fan.
All right.
of Keke Palmer.
All right, you guys are gonna like this, but I'm gonna go ahead anyway.
Okay.
I love music
Boosters?
biopics. There, I said it. Yeah, as I've said, I loved Michael, even though you guys didn't. So I was thinking back to some of the music biopics I've seen and some of my favorites.
Nice.
Since you guys hate it so much, I'm going to keep it short. To quote my favorite movie critic, besides us, if you don't like what I like, I don't give a bleep.
Nice.
He always says that. That's why I love him.
That's
Plus,
good, Murray.
it turns out he has the exact same opinions about movies that I do.
There you go.
It's like he's my twin, except he's an old black guy from the South. But
Nice.
other than that, we think the same things.
That's awesome.
So anyway, here's my top 5. La Bamba, 1987. Richie Valenzuela died in a plane crash along with Buddy Holly and the Big Bopper in 1950.
Hello, baby.
Spoiler alert. Robbing the world of his future stardom. His short career included hits like Come On Let's Go, Donna, Bluebirds Over the Mountain, and of course La Bamba, for a guy who didn't even speak Spanish, which was funny. The movie starred a young Lou Diamond Phillips, portrayed Valen's many ups and downs professionally and personally. The ending isn't exactly a surprise, but the performance still brings out all the emotions.
Yeah, I
It's really
liked La
good.
Bamba when it
It was
came out.
okay.
Yeah.
Elvis, 2022. Yeah, Tom
didn't like
Hanks was
this.
awful. Considering I love about 90% of his movies, that's saying something. It's terrible.
He was terrible.
And the movie was told from the point of view of the evil Colonel Tom Parker, his manager. All that doesn't matter because of the absolute transformative performance from Austin Butler. His musical portrayal of the king was amazing. Elvis is a big body, risky and successful portrait of a complicated artist. You know, controversial you might say as well.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
I know you didn't. I loved it. Ray, 2004.
Ray was good.
Yeah,
I
Ray
knew
was good.
almost nothing about Ray Charles before I saw this film. Again, that's probably not historically accurate. I don't care. If even half of it was true, I still learned a lot about the music icon. Yeah, apparently he slept around a lot.
I mean, if you were a famous singer, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
sleep
and he was
around?
blind, so he got around pretty much for a guy who's blind. Jamie Foxx was perfectly cast as Ray Charles. I gained so much respect for him as an actor because all I knew before that was his wacky characters from Living Color.
Yeah,
It's no coincidence that he released his own music after this film.
yeah.
Walk the Line, 2005.
Really?
Who's your favorite actor?
This will be the only time you will hear me say this. Joaquin Phoenix was really good in this film.
Yes, he was.
He was good.
Or as
'Cause
I
he's great in every
prefer
film.
to call him, Leaf, because that's his given name. He became Johnny Cash, even learning to play the guitar the same way that Cash did. Much of the attention went to Reese Witherspoon, who won the Oscar for her portrayal of June Carter. They were both amazing, and seeing what the man in black went through with the drug problems to come out the other end, that with the help of his loving partner, it was an inspirational film. A Complete Unknown, 2024. I have to give the Chalamet props. His portrayal of Bob Dylan was very good.
Yeah.
There have been more than a couple of Dylan documentaries / biopics. This one was done with no input from Dylan himself.
Yep.
Didn't even meet him. What Chalamet brought to the role was amazing, learning to play different instruments and using his own vocals for many of the performances. He probably should have won an Oscar for this, sadly didn't. Okay, I have to give honorable mention to this film that you guys didn't like.
What?
Bohemian Rhapsody. I know, it's not accurate. Rami Malek's a terrible actor, blah, blah, blah. Again, I don't care. I loved the performances, especially the Live Aid concert at the end, and I had all kinds of emotion watching this. Plus, Queen rules. Okay,
Queen does rule.
I'm done.
Queen is the most ruly of all rules.
They are very ruly.
Temperature rising. Vision blurring. Rage taking over.
Okay, so my rage could be that Cuff is over now and I have to go back to my regular life
Yeah, that's
and spend more time with my wife and family, which, you know, that's enough to make anybody rage. But my true rage this week is I'm going to be going on holidays coming up here in May, and I just found out that there are some pretty good horror movies coming out that I've really wanted to see, coming out around the time that I'm going to be on holidays. And I may not get to see them in theaters. So A, I'm not going to get to see them in theaters. And B, I'm probably not going to get to see them with Bryce and Murray. So that is my rage, is that I should have planned out my vacation around the movie release schedule for the year. So that's on me. But you guys will all get the benefit of seeing some pretty great horror films coming up here in May.
I'm gonna be, I'll be in BC, you know, on the side of a mountain. So
I'm going without you
they don't have
guys.
any screenings.
So
there.
we might have a. So you mean we might actually have a week where Murray does the podcast by himself?
Maybe.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
We might have to create a special episode.
We got to talk about what's going to happen that week. I'm not really sure what's going to happen that week.
So stay tuned. My rage may be everybody's rage. The first week, Film Rage doesn't release an episode, right? We've not.
I'm sure we missed.
No,
one.
I'm pretty sure we
No,
haven't.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess even when
Other
you
than
were
I-
away, I did it on my own a couple times.
During the Christmas break, we have a week where we don't, but then we come back and at least talk about the films we saw over the Christmas break. So
Yeah, we'll see.
yeah, so this may cause all of our listeners to rage too. I don't know. That's my rage.
Right then.
All right. My rage is pretty simple. There's certain things in the biopic Michael that made him seem like a saint that I just didn't sit well with me. The whole, you know, him saving these animals and whatnot, but putting them in just an absolutely unnatural place. They made him out to be like this, you know, almost environmentalist, which he absolutely was not. He just wanted a buddy to hang out with. And I wish they would have just, with all the stuff that they left out of the movie.
Yeah, they should have just left that
I wish
out.
they would have just left that out because it just didn't sit well with me. I was already not enjoying a lot of things that were going on, and that kind of almost pushed me over the edge. So that's my rage this week.
But not even a giraffe? Like giraffes, they live in
giraffe.
California, don't they?
They're walking around in the California wild. Yeah,
Oh, they're in San Diego. That isn't that far from LA.
yeah, in a zoo.
Also,
In a wildlife park too. I've
Yeah.
seen them.
Yeah, those wildlife parks. Let's not even get into that.
Like them better than zoos.
that's
Debatable.
Rage subsiding. Pulse slowing. Anger fading.
well, that was a pretty full week. We're gonna hopefully catch up some sleep. Possibly next week we might be back with our completely new episode of
Really.
yes. Film Rage is totally retro nostalgia recall flashback. Stay tuned. Thanks, Ragers, for listening. Thanks to the extended Film Rage family you can find in our show notes. Thanks to Casey from The Nerdy Photographer for the voice of Rage or Dare, our God of Rage, and the voice of Film Rage's totally retro nostalgia recall flashback. Find the social media for Nerdy Photographer everywhere you see this podcast. Find us on social media at Film Rage YYC. Check out everything Film Rage at filmrageyyc.com, including our merch site for Redbubble and TeePublic. We're always on it's Raging Blast for listeners, so please comment, like, subscribe, share, and send us emails to filmragecalgary@gmail.com. There's some terrible movies to fuel our rage, but no matter what you do, please, 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 make us a rage. That's it for this week. Rage on.
Rage on.